Hi to whoever's watching this, and thank you for watching this, and thanks especially for John Hanson for bringing me up in the plane. I'm going to be providing kind of a haphazard narration because the audio on my GoPro isn't super great. You'll probably just hear a lot of plane noises and me mumbling to myself at times. So at this point I'm just moving this really heavy tow bar to the wheels of the plane so that we can get it ready for us to hook it up to the golf cart to bring it out to the runway. We take these little clips out of the tow bar, and then the circular bit just fits into the bottom of the shock absorber for the wheel of the plane. That way we can pull it out. So I'm trying desperately to shove mine in here with varying degrees of luck.
Washer and cover pin, almost. Maybe. There we go.
So skipping forward in time a little bit, John's grabbing the golf cart and hooking it up to the plane. This is after he's done his little pre-flight check, and I've gotten all my stuff together and my helmet on and my GoPro recording, obviously. So he's just pulling it up, and we're getting ready to pull it out onto the tarmac.
I'll sit with you just so I'm out of the way.
All right. Okay. Glance around, make sure that there's nothing the airplane's going to hit. Guess how I would.
So as we're pulling the plane out of the hangar, John tells me a story about when he used to have a plane in Ann Arbor, Michigan, when he was pulling it out of the hangar, and he hit his Vespa motor scooter and dented his wing. So in addition to my plane lesson, I got a good life lesson about checking your surroundings before backing out or pulling a plane out of a hangar.
Parked out front. Over it went. Scratches on the side of that motor scooter. Always reminded me to look before you start.
At this point, it's basically just the same thing we did before, but in reverse. We take the pins off and pull off the tow bar, and John goes and parks the golf cart in the hangar. So after John puts the golf cart away, he gives me a little safety briefing as well as telling me how to get into the airplane. So I just hop on up and we're almost ready to go.
Okay.
At this point, John gives me a hand with undoing the complicated safety harness as I mess with my camera.
All good?
Yep. Go ahead. Step right on the seat.
And then I begin the complicated process of actually getting into the airplane.
All right. Okay.
So after getting myself buckled in and plugged into the voice system so I can hear John, he starts up the engine, and we're off. After a short trip on the tarmac, we're finally to the runway. So John lets other planes in the area know that we're about to take off, and away we go. off. Once we get off the ground, it's just an amazing feeling. The wind's in your hair, you can smell the engine, and you feel almost weightless. It's fantastic. Since it was an overcast day, we weren't able to fly over Northfield because of the clouds, but we did go south and go around some of the beautiful lakes in the area. As John makes a turn, you can get an idea for how high we are off the ground. We're only about 1,000 feet off the ground, but the docks and pontoon boats of the people who live along the lake look very tiny. At this point in my plane ride, we've returned to the Faribault area and we're preparing to do an approach for the grass runway. John decreases power to the engines and we begin to coast into the runway. At this point, you can see the lines of the grass runway directly in front of us. John made a fantastic landing, and for being a grass runway, I was surprised because it wasn't very bumpy.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, definitely. We got some utility vehicles on the runway.
We eventually pull onto the asphalt runway and slowly make our way back to the hangar.